of all, everybody who's first, every woman who's first in any field, of course, carries a lot of responsibility because you have to show what can be done. Because women even today are really not accepted that they should be able to break the glass ceiling anywhere in the world. So that's something that goes against women anyway. But I think the world is changing. I think the movements, Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter movement, all these movements and now decolonization and all the rest, I think it's helping people to have a more open mind about things. And the younger women or younger generation has to face even greater obstacles than we did. Because when I graduated, I came back, I had a whole support system, my whole family. Everybody knew who I was. Nobody could mess around with me. And of course we had to carry the responsibility. Of course we had to work harder. Of course we had to show we could do it. That was all there, but that is true even for today's young women. So I think we have to understand that the world is becoming far more difficult for women. It's opening up more opportunities, but also it's becoming more difficult. Unless society now decides that they have to support them. Whether it's husbands, whether it's brothers, whether it's fathers, I don't know who. But all of them have to now decide that, it can't go on like this. Having said that, the point is, yes, of course we are getting the brunt of it. Of course we are the ones who are suffering. But what are we doing about it? Why aren't we, if it's happening, why aren't we prepared? And who can say with any certainty that in 2005 when 400,000 units were built, houses, with concrete blocks and steel and everything else, in an area which never had these, it had always very low carbon buildings, it had really literally, very natural materials, all the rest of it. And then 5 years later, when we had this massive flooding, that there was not a cause, that what we did in 2005 with the World Bank and Asian Development and all the rest of them would come together and help, and so-called helping us, and the UN system and God knows who. They built these structures which are totally unnecessary, totally unsuitable. 5 years later we get the massive flooding. You don't think our own work had some impact on the glaciers that melted? How many INGOs, how many NGOs, how much money has been raised just for the 2022 flood? The question is, yes, of course things are wrong, but the point is, what are we doing about it? चीजें तो उगा सकते हैं flood water से. Where is that? खाना भी नहीं उगाते, भूख से लोग मर रहे हैं. पानी होता है ना, खाना पानी से होता है, पानी है ना. अब जो हमारे 150,000 जो हम पहुंच गए हैं, उनको हम यही सिखा रहे हैं कि जो जमीन पर आप बैठे हो उसलिए आप उसमें उगा सकते हो. किसी ने बताया नहीं है. एक उनको पानी का सोर्स मिलता है 60 घरों को, और वो चल पड़ते हैं. The poor need so little and we don't even give them that. Is there justice कि आपके सारे खानदान जो पूरे लाखों पड़े हुए उनके पास पानी नहीं पीने का, बच्चे और औरतें और सब लोग, जब पानी जो मिलता है गंदा मिलता है, इसको पी के बीमार हो जाते हैं. हम क्या कर रहे हैं? What are we talking about? Are we even blaming everybody else? What about ourselves? ये कि we just have to do it ourselves. करते जाएं. लोग तैयार हैं. अगर आज मैं आपको बता रही हूँ कि 1.5 लाख खानदानों तक हम पहुंच गए हैं without any money being spent from anybody through their own resources, जहाँ पर कम से कम खाना पीना उनका हो गया. नेक्स्ट उनके अपने टॉयलेट बनाने खुद शुरू कर दिए. जो टॉयलेट बनाने हो अपना घर बनाना शुरू कर दिया, खुद करेंगे, नहीं जरूरत है किसी की. उनको ये जाकर सिखाते हैं, आप फिक्र ना करो, खुद करो. बताते हैं कैसे करो. they are ready to do it. सख्त गर्मी हो, हालत खराब हो, कुछ हो, पानी मतलब एक सोर्स क्या होता है 60 खानदानों के लिए एक सोर्स. मगर मेरा ख्याल है हमारे लोग जो ये फाल हो रहे हैं, they themselves transform everything. They will do it. We don't. मैंने इनसे कहा कोई फिक्र नहीं, ना हमें हुकूमत की फिक्र करनी है, ना हमें किसी और की करनी है. Doesn't matter. Many ways you can help भाई, वो तो कोई बात ही नहीं है. आप लोग रिसर्च करो कि भाई अगर वहाँ पे आप चले जाओ, पहले तो go and see what they are doing. पहले तो go and have some empathy with them. तो जो ये टीमें हमारी जा रही हैं, जो humanitarianism, where they are going, these teams of the same kind of people are going to help others. जब ये जाते हैं तो उनकी इतनी खातिर होती है, बिकॉज वो जो बेचारे गरीब पड़ा है उसके पास तो कभी आज तक कोई आया नहीं है. So I think that's fine. I think all we are doing is to try to train them what they can do themselves, and they're doing it. I've designed structures that are very, very inexpensive. We use a lot of waste from around. Really safe, and we're teaching them how to do it so that next time they won't need anybody. खुद ही बनाते जाएंगे. You need that kind of team. तो बहुत सारे हम ट्रेन कर रहे हैं, कल को हो जाएंगे, कल की चीजें आप खुद ही आगे जाएंगे. I won't have to bother about it. ऐसे मुल्क में जहाँ किसी को किसी के साथ कोई ना एम्पैथी हो, ना सिंपैथी हो, ना कोई दिल में दर्द हो, वहाँ पे आप क्या करोगे? Nothing about how do you go and sit with them or talk to them or give them some knowledge. Hundreds of things can be done. उनके पास कुछ है ही नहीं. They don't have Google, they don't have knowledge about what's going on in the world. but जाके बताओ ना उनको, क्यों नहीं बताते हैं? जाके स्कूलों में पढ़ाना शुरू कर दें, nothing else. Why, young people going and saying, okay, we'll spend, so many weeks just going and sit with children and teach them.